Hey folks, it's Matt once again and wanted to make another video of the IMDB files. I actually did one just now and it was 45 minutes long, so I'll try to make this a bit shorter. Pretty much what I do is I looked at a year, I looked at the lowest rated films of that year, and today I'm looking at 1997. And because I did 1996, I did 1998, so why not do 1997? So let's get started, shall we? Quite a few films I've never heard of, which gets a 1.5. A film called Killers, which gets a 1.9. And the deal is simple. Buy the stolen drugs for almost nothing, sell them, and make a bundle. It's weird. It gets a 1.9, but there's a review on here that says, in the tradition of Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs, and it has a collector's edition DVD. Yeah, that figures. Alright. I guess I'll read the rest of the plot. Why not? It's the first one I'm looking at. The deal is simple. Buy the stolen drugs for almost nothing, sell them, and make a bundle. For Ray and the others, it's the deal of their lives. For Heather, the rich girl, it's a ride on the wild side. Deep in the dark, abandoned warehouse. Speed. The dealer counts the money. Outside, a black Mercedes pulls up. 5 killers step out. They want the drugs back, and they don't want witnesses. Trapped in the warehouse, the horror begins. How is that a horror film? I have no fucking idea. It's 5 people trying to kill you. So is Deliverance a horror film? Well, to some people it is, yeah. Let's see, you have a film called Air Boss. It gets a 2.3 with Frank Zagarino. Hidden in a desolate airbase in a former Soviet republic is an awesome weapon. The only working prototype of the MiG-35 firebomb, the Soviet stealth fighter bomber. Failure's not an option. Let's see. Quite a few films I've never heard of, like Glam. She's a 2.4. A writer discovers a world of sex, drugs, crime, and violence revolving around a beautiful young woman and her mobster boyfriend. You have a film called Dart Drive, a film called Future Fear with Jeff Wincott and Stacy Keach, which gets a 2.5. An able-bodied scientist has found a cure for the plague from outer space, which has eradicated almost all life on the planet. Mad General who wants to repopulate the planet with a new race sends a special female assassin to take him out. Oh shit, get him, Jeff Wincott. The Erotic House of Wax. Well, I'm not really a wax guy, so I'll pass on that. Which gets a 2.6. A really shitty Olivier Gruner film, which I've seen, called TNT. The Tactical Neutralization Team, or TNT, is a squad of elite soldiers sent on top-secret, near-suicidal missions around the world. One of the missions ends in failure. Olivier Gruner says, fuck it, I've had enough. Eric Roberts sits at an office that looks like he filmed all his scenes in one day and is just answering a phone. Randy Travis has a 5-minute role as a sheriff. And, yeah, TNT is a pretty horrendous movie. It deserves a 2.6. It's a very boring, cheaply made flick. Wow. I haven't seen the film, but Another 9.5 Weeks gets a 2.7 with starring Mickey Rourke, Agatha De La Fontaine, and Angie Everhart. 9.5 Weeks was a pretty popular film, and the sequel gets a 2.7. Holy shit. What if someone says why? I don't know, the first review says it's fantastic, an excellent film, so. But it gets a 2.7, so obviously a lot of people don't like the film. That's where Mickey Rourke was definitely in the skids. You have a film called Breeders. Pretty much aliens come over in a meteorite and they want to fuck women. And you know what? I don't blame them. And gets a 2.7. I think this is a remake of a film. I think there was an older film called Breeders. I always get confused which is which. I swear there's two Breeders movies. Yeah. Thank God there's two Breeders movies. Like, that's a film that needed a remake. How about this? You remake it, but don't have them actually kill women. Have it be like a Skinamax. So it's the breeders look like these alien creatures, but then I'm not going there. But it's a porn version. I don't know. I'm not going there. But they're sensual. See, that's the twist. That's the M. Night Shyamalan twist. They're sensual. They're caressing the buttocks and yeah, I don't think anyone would see that. I'd see it just to laugh. Like, the guy in a really good alien suit, creature suit, is fucking a woman in the ass. Yeah, I know. Sometimes weird stuff makes you laugh. What can I say? But sensually, like, you have to be sensual. That's part of the joke. The joke that's not funny. Speaking of not funny, Pulp Fiction, a comedy that parodies Pulp Fiction, which gets a 2.7 and has Tommy Davidson as Julius. You have Julie Brown. You have Sandra Bernhard as Bunny. Dan Castellaneta, the voice of Homer Simpson, as Bumpkin. Tim Kazurinsky, that's the little guy in Police Academy 3 and 4 who was with Bobcat Goldthwait. He's in this as Priscilla, Queen of the Desserts. Jennifer Rubin, Jennifer Coolidge. Yeah, Priscilla, Queen of the Desserts. Sorry. That's the kind of jokes you have. From the producers who saw Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, and Natural Born Killers, and pretty much them parodying Tarantino films, especially Pulp Fiction, probably some other films. Never saw it, don't need to. Really don't need to. Oh my god, yeah, this came out this year. Steel with Shaquille O'Neal. It was just a 2.7. Steel by Shaquille O'Neal. Annabeth Gish is the girl in a wheelchair. And Judd Nelson is the bad guy. This is by, I can't believe, Kenneth Johnson directed this. And like, well, what, how? Because Kenneth Johnson, he's directed some movies I like. If I go back, Short Circuit 2. I really enjoy Short Circuit 2. He directed a lot of those Alien Nation TV movies. And I remember him being like I guess because I just think of Short Circuit 2, I'm like, I like Short Circuit 2. I think he worked on The Incredible Hulk. Yeah, he helped develop it for TV, and he helped create The Incredible Hulk, I believe. The TV show with Lou Ferrigno. Well, he thought, oh, I could do it for Lou Ferrigno. Maybe I could do this for Shaquille O'Neal. Steel is a DC Comics character. In the comic, he was directly inspired by Superman when the Man of Steel saved his life. Since then, John Henry Irons sports Superman's shield as a homage to Kal-El. At the movie, the existence or not of Superman is not touched, but John is related to the last son of Krypton via his tattoo. Yeah, he has a tattoo. I think does Shaquille O'Neal in real life have a Superman tattoo, or did he just have that for the movie? I haven't seen Steel since it first came out. I remember it being very lame and wondering why the fuck do you get Shaquille O'Neal? And hell, why not Ving Rhames or someone else? Ving Rhames as Steel, that'd be interesting. That'd be pretty cool back in the day. Ving Rhames as Steel, like a badass Steel. I wouldn't mind even an R-rated Steel. course, Steel is not one of those. But I mean, I'm surprised they didn't. They haven't tried to make that movie, because you know how studios are. Oh, let's find every fucking comic and make it into a movie. Of course, some of them I've liked, like the Kingsman, so I don't know why I'm bitching about that. But let me see. Most of the movies like Inferno and Interpol agent travels to India to find the terrorist who killed his partner. Don the Dragon Wilson gets a 2.9. Of course, this is directed by Fred Owen Ray. Black Scorpion 2. I've never even fucking seen Black Scorpion 1, which is a 3.1. Joan Severance. Darcy's back on the force, but still fights on as the Black Scorpion because it's in her nature. Oh, this is funny. Judge Reinhold from Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2, he starred in an action movie in a serious role as the badass. And Cracker Jack 2, aka Hostage Train, which is a 3.1. A policeman working alone must rescue his girlfriend and a trainload of other hostages from vicious criminals in a mountain tunnel hideout. Yes, Judge Reinhold did an action film where he was absolutely serious and not playing for laughs. Tractor Jack 2, aka Hostage Train. Look up the trailer on YouTube if you don't believe me. You have a film called Space Jet, which gets a 3.2, which has Corbin Burnson and Amanda Pays. I like Amanda Pays. A film called Bimbo Movie Bash. Outer space bimbos decide to take revenge on the male chauvinists of Earth, with Adrian Barbeau and Michelle Bauer, which gets a 3.3. Okay. Oh my god, Spice World came out this year. Spice World. Yeah, just like Vanilla Ice, why did you think a movie about the Spice Girls would work? Gets a 3.3. Film is listed among the 100 most enjoyably bad movies ever made in the Razzies book. I'm trying to. Spice Force 5 bears many similarities to the fictional TV pilot Fox Force 5 from the movie Pulp Fiction. Great, wow, they got that. Wow, they stole that from Pulp Fiction. According to his memoirs, Roger Moore filmed his long cameo in a single day. I don't know why I'm thinking there'd be interesting trivia for Spice World. I guess I'm just trying to give benefit of the doubt. The Power Rangers sequel, Turbo Power Rangers movie, gets a 3.3. I don't even think Ninja Turtles 3 got that low of a rating. I mean, Ninja Turtles 3, what was the rating on that on IMDb? What was that? 4.8? So yeah, even that wasn't as low as this. Amy Jo Johnson makes her last appearance today on Power Rangers as Kimberly. Ms. Johnson appears in this film because she was contracted to appear in 2 Power Ranger movies. The first cut had a running time of 3 hours. To this day, none of the deleted footage has surfaced. I think that, I mean, I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not being fair to it. I think it's just my own personal pissed offness because I remember back then when I was a Ninja Turtles guy, still am, and then people were like, no, Power Rangers now. Ninja Turtles are old news. So that was kind of that rivalry, Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers. So as I think nowadays is how like DC Marvel, but they take it more seriously than I did. I mean, I'm not, Power Rangers. That's cool. I mean, I to be fair, haven't seen the stuff, so I have no room to talk about the movie. So I wouldn't know if it sucks or not. Just that sort of that rivalry, like fuck Power Rangers because Ninja Turtles are better. But in all seriousness, I haven't seen it. If you're wondering why I'm not saying anything, I'm just sort of now I'm just reading There's a lot of trivia for this movie. Original drafts. Directed by David Winning, due to a contract dispute, he only received co-credit with the producer and no editing influence. God, there's a lot of info about this movie. I'm surprised. Because I don't think the film has any documentaries or anything. In a video interview, actor Austin St. John confessed he originally turned down reprising his role as Jason, but co-director Shuki Levy contacted the director and tried to get him to reconsider. He read the script and liked it, but he agreed to return under two conditions. The first condition was that Mr. St. John wanted to get higher pay, which he was originally fired from the show for wanting, because he needed money to support himself and his mother. The second condition was that he wanted to turn Jason evil, because he felt it would be more fun playing the character as a bad guy. Two came to a compromise where Jason, as well as Kimberly, would be turned evil only temporarily when they were sacrificed at a temple. They'd be later turned good again by some wizard. He agreed to appear in the movie. He got the highest salary as requested, and the script was rewritten to turn Jason Kimberly temporarily evil in the film's third act. Well, he got a lot of power then. Shit. See, I don't know who the hell that guy played in the. Was he the Red Ranger? I think he was, yeah, the red one, I think. Shows how knowledgeable I am on Power Rangers. But yeah, I mean, for those who are fans, look in the trivia section. There's a lot of stuff. So I haven't seen the film. I don't know if it deserves a 3.3, but you can decide that. Some film with Malcolm McDowell and Michael Paré called 2103 The Deadly Weight, just a 3.3. Another film called Dark Planet with Harley Jane Kozat, may she rest in peace. Michael York, I guess a 3.3. Strip Search. There's a film called Strip Search with Michael Paré and Pam Grier. I can't help it. When I see Strip Search, I am curious. Two cops undercover, under fire, going down. Downtown. Down to my balls. Robbie Durrell is the prince of the Vice Squad, a man who's seen it all and done a little of it too. But when the enchanting Scylla hires him to help track down her stripper stepdaughter, stripper stepdaughter, Robbie learns there's more to Scylla than meets the eye. Stella. So there's a movie called Vice Girls, which is a 3.5. Oh god, an Alan Smithy film, Burn Hollywood Burn, was just a 3.5. I remember this being a pretty damn bad film because it was trying to be like a fake documentary about some filmmaker. Who was it? Eric Idle, who makes a film. It's so shitty that he wants his name removed, but the thing is, his actual name is Alan Smithy. And the bid film he's doing is his film with, I think it was called Trio, a film with Sylvester Stallone, Jackie Chan, and Whoopi Goldberg, who makes appearances. Joe Esterhaus wrote it. You have Ryan O'Neal, you have Coolio, and I just remember not being that funny. I mean, this is the same director who did See No Evil, Hear No Evil, and then he also did Carpool. But, and lo and behold, the director actually thought the film was so bad, he used the name Alan Smithy. I just remember it not being that funny. Arthur Hiller removed his name from the credits after the film's production company, Synergy, preferred the cut made by producer-writer Joe Esterhaus over Arthur Hiller's cut. Yeah, Alan Smith, I just remember not being that funny at all, and Jackie Chan and Whoopi Goldberg and even Stallone were not used that well, and they had to be over the top, and maybe they filmed it as if they were actually themselves instead of playing a character, even though it's supposed to be a documentary. I think it would have been. It seemed like it's trying to be a documentary, but it's clearly a movie, so everything's fake. Everyone's playing a character. You could tell. Like if they try to be quote more realistic and just have Stallone and Chan and Whoopi act like themselves and have other people. I mean, it just again, it's a. I don't know what the fuck it was trying to do, but it didn't work because it wasn't funny. See, Burt Reynolds was in the film called Big City Blues, which gets a 3.5. With William Forsythe. A collection of characters threaten to cross paths unknowingly during a night in the big city. Film focuses on two hitmen, Burt Reynolds and William Forsythe, who are bound to collide with someone named Kates, a beautiful prostitute. Action, adventure, comedy, drama. Big City Blues. Yeah, never heard of it. Burt Reynolds and William Forsythe? Interesting, though. Oh, God, that's right. Mortal Kombat Annihilation came out this year, which gets a 3.6, and it deserves it. This is a shitty sequel. Because let's kill off Johnny Cage. I don't care if it was in the fucking game. You didn't need to do that. And let's have Liu Kang did his ass kicked for most of the fucking movie. Because he's now like the Karate Part 3. Daniel-san just gets his ass kicked, forgets everything he learned in the first two. Here, Ramen Shao just forgets everything he learned in the first movie. Just gets his ass kicked by everybody. Gets his ass kicked by this girl. Gets his ass kicked by this guy. His ass kicked by Jade. That's what it seemed like. I know he's got his ass kicked by Nightwolf. He gets his ass kicked by everybody. Then you have this really shitty CGI for Animality. Yeah, go suck a doggy dick. James Remar as Raiden did not work at all. Some really funny performances. Brian Thompson. This will be glorious. And fucking... What was it? What was that character's name? Like Shiva, apparently the actress was a bit pissed because there was supposed to be a big action scene with the sort of the female, not really, kind of female Goro, the one with the multiple arms. There's supposed to be a big fight scene and it never happened, so she's in it. Then, oh shit, a chandelier. Oh. There's a couple fun fights. It has plentiful fight scenes. But, and I like the soundtrack. There's pieces of soundtrack I like. But this director did not know what the fuck he was doing. It was his first film, and he went on to direct The Butterfly Effect 2. He was mainly a cinematographer, and you should stick to that, but he just did such a piss poor job. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And I gotta look at the trivia for that. I gotta do that. Just Liu Kang all of a sudden gets his ass kicked. Johnny Cage. No wonder Lyndon Ashby didn't come back. He's like, fuck this. I should come back for this shit. I applaud him for that. Give him a golf clap for that. A third film was going to be developed. Mortal Kombat Devastation. For some reason, Lyndon Ashby was hired to be Johnny Cage. How? He's dead. Maybe they say this film didn't exist. Plans for the third film fell through. The film rights went back to Warner Brothers, which they were planning to reboot. I would have preferred seeing that third film if he had Christopher Lambert and Lyndon Ashby back and Robin Shaw. I'd rather watch that. Ray Park's first film role was as Raiden's fight double in the movie. Michael Jai White was scheduled to play as Jax, but eventually he got the lead part in Spawn instead. And he portrayed Jax in Mortal Kombat Rebirth and the little Netflix thing. It says here Tony Jaa doubled for Robin Shaw in a few stunt scenes. I don't know if that's true. Someone can confirm or deny that. A third Mortal Kombat film was being developed by New Line Cinema. Mink was hired to direct. Mink. Oh no. Is that? Who the hell is Mink? Oh, that's the guy who directed that Steven Seagal film Into the Sun. That's actually a Seagal film I didn't mind. Okay. Then Russell Mulcahy was hired. And then it went all to shit. Lenny Nashby was asked to return as Johnny Cage, but turned it down after reading the script. I don't blame him. Don't blame him at all. I'm trying to see any other interesting. There's quite a bit. Christopher Lambert was apparently interested in reprising Raiden, but was committed to Beowulf at the same time. I think that was a film that might have gotten delayed too. Brigitte Wilson was offered to reprise the role of Sonya Blade, but turned it down for a role, and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yeah, some role. She's in it for 5 minutes, and she's a bitch. Okay. I guess it's an easy payday. But yeah, okay. A few more, because I know it's getting to almost half hour. But yeah, there's a couple big ones now. I mean, see, there's a film called Batman and Robin. Actually, I don't know. I'll talk about a couple more. Like, there's the Bad Pad, which is a 3.9, which is kind of the Expendables before the Expendables, but a very cheap, boring, half-ass. Because it's a bunch of people getting together to fight this local uh, militia, mercenaries to protect these people. But it was Robert Davi and Roddy Piper and Ralph Moeller, and very boring film. Not much action. Roddy Piper barely got to do shit. There's a film called Bleeders, which is a 3.7, which I think that's the cover that actually, if you hit the cover of the VHS, you would see what would be, quote, blood on the cover. I think that's the most interesting part of that movie. A film called Moonbase, which is just a 3.7. But the two I wanted to end it on is Batman and Robin and Speed 2. Batman and Robin, which is a 3.6. I already did a random Batman and Robin. You have nipples and crotches. You have Batman credit cards. You have, this is why Superman works alone. George Clooney being George Clooney. Alicia Silverstone trying to act and failing. Arnold Schwarzenegger being horribly over the top with 50 ice puns that are, none of them are funny. Poison Ivy being an annoying bitch. Being very campy, seemed like trying to evoke the Adam West TV show and just being very boring. I mean, just over the top, silly, goofy. Even the documentary says it looked like a big toy commercial, and it was. And just a pretty piss poor movie. Schumacher wanted to take the film back to its darkest roots and make a Batman Year One. Schumacher wanted to cast Kurt Russell as a young Commissioner Gordon, would have had Selena Kyle as a young, beautiful woman living in the ghetto. But they said no more Joe Schumacher. We're just going to move on. In later interviews, director would blame studio pressure to make the film more toyetic. And in a making of documentary on the DVD, apologized to disappointed fans. Before George Clooney was ultimately cast, David Duchovny was the other choice considered for the role of Batman after Val Kilmer refused to return for this film. I think he was doing like The Saint or I don't know what the fuck Val Kilmer was doing. Val Kilmer's a dickhead. Hulk Hogan was Joel Schumacher's third choice to play Mr. Freeze. Um, Anthony Hopkins, who was one of Joel Schumacher's other choices for Mr. Freeze, was also considered for the role of Alfred in Batman Begins. Val Kilmer was asked if he wanted to play Batman again, but by his own admission and due to his commitment with the Saints, was not interested. After experiencing difficulties working with Kilmer in Batman Forever, Joel Schumacher was insistent that the actor not return for the fourth film. And yeah, Schumacher was fine with it. Because Val Kilmer's a dick. I like that this is in the trivia. During filming, Schwarzenegger cheated on his wife, Maria Shriver, with their housekeeper. He fathered an illegitimate son. That's your trivia for Batman and Robin. I didn't know this. Arnold Schwarzenegger said during the making of Terminator 2 that he would never play another evil character again. And Mr. Freeze is not really that evil because they give him oh, he's doing it for his wife and all this stuff. But he actually said in T2 he would never play an evil character again. Thus, never an evil Terminator again. I'm sorry, I'm now silent, just looking. George Clooney has been known to refund people who saw this film. George Clooney is pretty cool. See, George Clooney, I like. I remember there was a story about Three Kings, the movie, where David O. Russell, the director, was such a dickhead to some of the crew, and George Clooney would stand up for the crew members, and it came to a point where he actually punched the director. That's I'd give huge props for Clooney for that. Clooney just seems like a cool guy. Fair role will be From Dusk Till Dawn, but seems like a cool guy. I like Val Kilmer who's a dickhead. When the film was over, Clooney quipped, "I think we just killed the franchise." Maybe that's why. Maybe Clooney was just looking everywhere and went, no matter what the fuck I do, I can't do anything with this. Schumacher once said in an interview that if Schwarzenegger had not wanted to play Mr. Freeze, Stallone was his second choice. Schwarzenegger only worked 6 weeks on the film. I don't know. I mean, there's all these. You guys can look at the trivia. I was just curious about all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's just an awful film. It's a big toy commercial, like the documentary said. And then speaking of shitty sequels, Speed 2 Cruise Control. Speed 2, I like some of the action scenes. Some of the stunt scenes, special effects are well done. Because they had a budget behind it. So you do have some good stunt sequences and a couple pretty decent explosions. You know, spectacle scenes. I mean, the big cruise liner going to the big pier and but yeah, the lead guy, Jason Patrick, he's not an action movie lead. He had no. I don't think he had any chemistry with Sandra Bullock. The film is called Speed, but you're on a slow-looking cruise ship. It defeats the purpose of your title of your movie. And the supporting characters were pretty lame. And there's a good bit portions of the film that's pretty boring. And just don't give a fuck what's going on. You're just waiting for the next action scene. While Speed, it just kept you going throughout the entire film. What's going to happen next? Here, it's like, whatever. In a 2000 interview, Sandra Bullock jokingly referred to this movie as the biggest piece of crap ever made. The original script was intended to be the third film in the Die Hard series, which I wouldn't mind that for a Die Hard film because it's Bruce Willis, first off, not Jason Patrick. Die Hard with a Vengeance, I'm glad we got, though. I love Die Hard with a Vengeance, so I prefer the way it was. But hell, if 95 was Die Hard 3, if 2 years later, okay, this is Die Hard 4, okay, cruise ship, why not? You can't escape from the water, gotta deal with these, okay, he's trapped, kind of like in a building, but it's a cruise ship. I mean, I'd be fine with that, but not Speed. Keanu Reeves turned down the movie to go on tour with his band Dodge Star, which was the right choice. Among the movie, although the movie was near universally panned by critics, Siskel and Ebert were among the very few critics to give the movie a positive review. Before his death, Ebert stated that this was the review he had to defend more than any other he had written. That was the one most often used as the example of him being a poor critic. Yeah, that's true. Gary Oldman turned down the role of the villain and instead chose Air Force One. That was a good choice. Sandra Bullock agreed to star in the film in order to get financing for her pet project Hope Floats. Director Jan de Bont felt that Speed had no sequel potential, but he was contractually obligated to direct a sequel when it was greenlit after the success. Okay, I need a drink, obviously. Let's try that again. Director Jan de Bont initially felt that Speed had no sequel potential, but he was contractually obliged to direct a sequel when it was greenlit after the success of the first movie. Many ideas were pitched, including a plane which cannot ascend above a certain altitude without exploding. Finally, Jan de Bont used an idea of his own after he had How is it his own idea if you just said it was a fucking script for Die Hard 3? Jason Patrick only agreed to make the film contingent on some major script changes being made. However, when he eventually arrived on set 3 months later, he found that the script hadn't changed at all. He was contractually obligated to make the film. He found the whole experience to be thoroughly miserable and depressing. Well, no fucking wonder. No one wanted to do the movie. No one wanted to do the film. Sandra Bullock didn't want to do the film. She only did it so she did Hope Floats. Keanu Reeves didn't want to do it, so he said, fuck it. Jan de Bont didn't want to do it, but he had a contract. Jason Patrick would do it if some things changed, but they didn't, so he didn't want to do it. No one wanted to do it, so no one gave a fuck. Jason Patrick used his entire salary to finance his film, Your Friends and Neighbors. I remember reading somewhere that Sandra Bullock actually wanted Matthew McConaughey as the lead. I don't know, if Matthew McConaughey was the lead instead of Jason Patrick, I might like the film more, despite... Because what makes an action film for me is the lead. And Jason Patrick, to me, is a shitty lead. So when I have a shitty lead, it hurts the film a lot for me. Especially when it's an action movie. Now, if it was Matthew McConaughey, I would like that more. Another reason why Keanu Reeves opted out of the sequel was because he had just completed another large-scale action film, Chain Reaction. Which, even I can say Chain Reaction is a better movie than Speed 2. Not by much, because I'm not a big fan of Chain Reaction, but I'd rather watch that than Speed 2. I guess Speed 2 has a couple of good action scenes. That's pretty much it. Good effect scenes. They did a rain on Speed 2. But anyway, might as well end with Speed 2 Cruise Control, which even the title is kind of an oxymoron. It's Speed 2, and we're on cruise control, though. Speed, cruise. Speed, but it's cruise control. Because, you know, when you're on cruise control, you're obviously not speeding up and speeding up. Fuck cares. I'm thinking of more than the movie makers did. Anyway, that's my on 1997. Fuck it.